Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Today will be hot and humid with highs in the low to mid-90s and sunny skies. Winds will be out of the west-northwest, shifting to the east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. There is a chance for afternoon storms developing over eastern Colorado and moving east-southeast through northwestern Kansas and southwest Nebraska this evening with large hail and damaging wind gusts. Overnight lows will be in the lower 60s. Tomorrow through Thursday, the ridge will re-amplify over the Rockies, leading to a continuation of mostly dry, hot, and humid conditions. Daytime highs will be in the 90 to 95 degree range and lows 60 to 65. Friday, a Pacific Northwest trough will begin to flatten the high-pressure ridge, but it will remain hot and dry, highs around 90. Then there's a chance for evening and overnight storms. Weekend, the trough will access the central U.S., bringing increased storm chances and cooler temperatures. Daytime highs will be in the low to mid-80s and overnight lows in the upper 50s. This meteorologist Chris Romick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Wake up, sports fans. It's time to kickstart your day with the Morning Blitz and me, Ross Volkmer. Get the latest updates, in-depth analysis, and a few hot takes on everything from the preps to the pros. Whether you're driving to work or just getting your day started, I've got you covered with all the local sports talk you crave. So don't miss out. Tune in every weekday morning starting at 7 Mountain, 8 Central Time on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 to the Morning Blitz and join the conversation. Miss the show? No problem. Download and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the Insurance Agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Summer is heating up, and Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby has everything you need to make the most of it. Tame that lawn with top-notch weed and feed from Ultimate Fertilizer, and keep those bugs away with powerful pesticides. Plus, Ego mower blowers and trimmers to get that job done fast. Fire up some summer flavor with a Traeger grill or a Blackstone griddle, and if you're building a fence or even fixing a sprinkler, they've got the building materials and supplies to keep your projects moving. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, your summer project headquarters. Summer's ending, school's here, and Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland has the trucks to keep you moving. A 2025 Sierra 3500 Pro, $1,000 purchase allowance or 3.9% for 48 months. A 3500 Denali, $2,000 purchase allowance or 3.9%. Or Sierra 1500 over a $6,000 purchase allowance or 0% APR for 36 months. Make this school year the smoothest ride yet. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, or shop online anytime at hurlchev.com.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
The High Plains only local sports talk show.
Knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting live on Rocket 102.5 and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Not this again.
Yes, this again.
Covering it all from the preps
Fastball swing and a miss and a strikeout there for Kaysen Cedarstrom.
to the pros.
Mahomes keeps it on an RPO at the 5. Gets a lead block. He goes into the end zone near side. Touchdown, Kansas City.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. along with the insurance agency, the Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Ground ball right side. It's through. Here's Junior, and the Royals lead in the bottom of the 8th.
Jared throws the ball. He's got a wide open receiver. Franklin with the catch. Scampers into the end zone on the west sideline. Touchdown, Denver. Jared Stidham to Troy Franklin, 27 yards out.
0-2 to Moniak. And a ground ball to middle. That is into center field. It's a base hit. It's going to score 2. Rockies have come back and taken the lead in this 7th inning.
Short roll to the right off play action. Minshew throws it late, wide open, back in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. And the ex-Packer Robert Tonyan continues to help this team.
And good Monday morning, everybody. Off and rolling here on an August the 18th. Beautiful start to this week. Sunny and 69. Going to be a toasty one, though. Temperature is going to remain practically in the 90s the entire week, it looks like, until maybe a little bit of a cool down near the weekend. But it's definitely hot to start this week. What is a full week of school for the first time here in the new school year for some schools. For other schools, school will be starting up here a little bit later on this week, like in Goodland, for example. So we are here. And not to mention, not only are we here when school's starting, but that also means that fall sports practices can begin today. That's right. Today is the first day that Keisha allows fall sport practices to take place. And we'll have our first games, coming up here sometime in about 10 days or so. Some volleyball matches, some cross country possibly mixed in there. Football, we've got, pretty much 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks away from that first game, but you got some scrimmages and things like that, some jamborees coming up here in about 10 to 12 days, depending on who you are. So fall sports season is here. We kick it off today. I'm sure some got out and had early morning practices. I'm sure some are going to be going on this afternoon. But fall sports practice is here. The fall sports season is here. And school is almost here. So, yeah, we will see what it all holds here in the next coming of months. Who's going to have who's going to be those teams that have remarkable seasons? Who are going to be those ones that drop down? We're going to find who's going to be those great athletes this year. Who are the ones that are going to, the ones that we know about, the ones we don't know. Look forward to talking about that throughout the upcoming school year. But we got a Monday show ahead for you. That means weekend winners and losers coming up here in just a matter of moments. We will be previewing the Colby Community College volleyball season with their head coach, Carrie Jones. She'll be joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline to discuss the upcoming season. Of course, CCC volleyball coming off their most successful season ever. They were at the Final Four of the Women's National Tournament in Clarksville, Tennessee. I think it was Clarksville. It's Clarksville, Tennessee. It's where they were this last fall and competing for a national championship. Came up a couple games short, but still a remarkable showing last year. And what has that led to this year coming up here for Coach Carrie Jones there of Colby Community College? So we'll talk with her coming up in segment number 2. In segment 3, we will get to the leftovers. We'll talk some more football coming up here as we are officially in volleyball season right now today, it feels like. So, by the way, CCC volleyball, I think, kicks their season off this weekend, I think. I think it's like Friday, and I think they have a game on Friday and then some on Saturday. Like they have like I don't know if they play, maybe they play Wednesday. I'll have to look at the schedule. I know they've got games this week. I know Friday's when the season begins. I think maybe Wednesday they have like a scrimmage, but then they're down I think in New Mexico for an early season tournament here. So we'll see what CCC has in store. Once again, Carrie Jones joining us in segment 2. FB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. Our good friend Jared, yes, talking about his great weekend he had. The Rockies take the series against my Diamondbacks. Yes, more on that in a moment. The Broncos 2-0 in the preseason. Chiefs are 0-2. Boo-ha-ha-ha. He says he's happy dancing. Well, glad, Jared. I'm glad you're having a great start to the week. Well, I'm glad you're having a great start to this week. But yeah, the FB Bank text line is open for your thoughts and comments like that if you'd like to at 785-899-2222. Okay, well, let's get rolling on today's Monday program with our weekend winners and losers. Here we go.
There are two kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
All right, weekend winners and losers. If you have a weekend winner or loser, chime in as well. Love to hear that. But I'll start with the baseball, area baseball, regional baseball teams. Royals and Rockies, great weekends all the way around. Great weekends as well for the Royals and the Rockies. The Royals swept the White Sox this past weekend, pretty much in dominant fashion. They win 3-1 on Friday, 6-2 on both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday was a come-from-behind deal. I don't think Saturday was. Sunday was a come-from-behind game. I know that for sure. But the Royals sweep the White Sox. They're playing some pretty good baseball here. I mean, they've won their last two series. That prior to that, of course, dropping a couple series, but they've played well here over the last week and a half as Kansas City. I'm not going to say it's really helping their chances in the AL Central side, more maybe in the wild card side. If you want to take a look at that, at the AL wild card race, the Royals still, though, 4 games back in that American League wild card, got 3.5 games behind, half game behind the Guardians and 4 games behind the Yankees at this point in time, the MLB wild card standing. So it's going to see what is the percentage of Kansas City making the postseason. The postseason predictor that ESPN has, about 12.5% is what Kansas City sits at right now, which is better than the Rockies, who have less than 0.1%, which is amazing. They haven't been eliminated yet, but apparently there's still a shot if they were to win every game the rest of the way. Maybe they have a chance of making the postseason, but less than 0.1% for the Rockies. But it was a good weekend for the Rockies. The Rockies take 3 of 4 from the Arizona Diamondbacks after Arizona took game 1 on Thursday, kind of like I thought they would. Arizona goes out there and rakes in game number 1, winning 8-2, but Colorado holds off in a low-scoring affair at Coors Field 4-3 on Friday, and then comes from behind to win both Saturday and Sunday, 10-7 and 6-5. And so you look at the Rockies, and yes, I understand that they just got done losing, I think it was 8 in a row, but now all of a sudden they have turned around and won 5 of their last 6. They have played better baseball here over the course of the second half of the season. There's no doubt about it. I saw this meme on social media. It was from, I think it was our good friend Christian Saez from DNVR Rockies, and it was of the Rock. He goes, look at these Rockies, and it was a picture of, an old man, or it was a video of an old man trying to get into his car, and this young man comes up like he looks like he's going to rob him, and the old man pulls out a gun. Like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the Rockies. They still are 5 games underneath that 40-win mark where they're going to need to get to once again be considered not the worst team in baseball. It feels pretty good like they're going to get that done. I mean, it feels like they're going to be able to surpass that, maybe get to about, golly, I'm going to see how many more games they got left. Take a look at the schedule here real quick. How many more games they got left? Still a good handful of games. They play all the way through September, so just over a month of games. Now, I'm not going to lie, the schedule is not exactly easy. They've got a lot of San Diego who's hot right now. They've got a lot of LA Dodgers that's hot right now. They could get some wins against Pittsburgh. Houston's kind of been scuffling. They could get some wins. Chicago Cubs have been scuffling. They got the Marlins. So there's going to be some tough games. But I think if right now, if I'm sitting here, I think I'm going to put it out at about 7.5, 6.5, 7.5 wins is what they've got left in them over under that. And so I'm guessing they're going to get to around that 41, 42 win mark. That's where I'm kind of feeling right now for the Rockies. So just barely above the worst team ever in baseball history. But give them credit. They've hung around. They've played better here. Brenton Doyle's playing better. They're just all around playing better than what they had just a few weeks ago. And really the West, since they've been playing in the beginning of the season. It definitely got dicey at the end of yesterday's game. If you saw that, where Juan Mejia goes up and makes a catch and then pretty much gets clotheslined or tackled by first baseman Warming Bernabel. It was an interesting end of the game, but they get it done. No doubt the Royals and Rockies, winners of the week. Another fun stat for the Royals over the White Sox. The Royals have won now 14 straight home games against the White Sox. That ties a franchise record for the most wins against one opponent at home. So a fun little stat there. And a loser of the weekend type stat for you comes from my Arizona Diamondbacks. The D-backs, folks, blew their 39th lead this season. the most in the majors. That means that they have led in a baseball game that they lost, actually, in the end, 39 times. That is unbelievable. 39 games that you had the lead but lost it. If you win half of those, let's just say you win 20 of those, all of a sudden Arizona goes from being a 60-win team to an 80-win team, and you're one of the best teams in baseball. I do not know how Arizona cannot solve their bullpen issues. It is honestly embarrassing, and it's been that way for the last couple of years. Their bullpen is horrendous, and they got to get it figured out. That would be, I don't know what they have to do in the offseason this year. They have an offense that can put up runs with anybody they got an amazing offense. Now, it's kind of slowed a little bit since Suarez was traded to the Mariners. But, that team can put up runs with anybody in Major League Baseball. They can steal, they can run, they play great defense, but their back-end pitching sucks. And they got to get that much better. So much better. That has got to be priority number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 in the offseason. Go out and spend money on bullpen arms that are shut down guys. God, that's embarrassing. 39 losses when you've had the lead. Ugh. Sticking in baseball on weekend winners and losers here. Winner of the weekend, how about the Milwaukee Brewers? Now, I know the Brewers, we talked about them last week and how they had rattled off, 8 straight wins or something like that, or 9 straight wins. They pushed that to 14 before finally losing yesterday to the Reds. So you talk about a really good run here for Milwaukee, who, by the way, has the best record in baseball at 78-45. That's the thing. If Arizona won half of those games, they'd have the best record in baseball. So 78-45. They're a lock to make the postseason at over 99.9%. They've just been great. That 14-game winning streak was snapped by the Reds yesterday, 3-2. But my goodness, what a showing by the Brewers. Just, the previous record for them was 13. So they surpassed the old record of 13 straight wins. Now they've gotten to 14 at this point in time. And, they're getting it done with a bunch of guys that I would guess the average baseball fan has no idea who they are. Sal Frelick and Bryce Terang. Some guys may know, Christian Yelich and William Contreras, and Jackson Chourio. But a lot of the other guys on this lineup are just not your big name guys. And they've got a bunch of young pitchers. I shouldn't say a lot of young pitchers, but they got some guys that really know how to strike out people. Whether it's Freddie Peralta, who's kind of been their ace, Quinn Priester. Of course, everyone knows the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, who's been just an unbelievable showing in 8 games that he's pitched in. But they've just gotten it done. And like I said, I've said it before. I'll say it again many times. The Brewers were my pick to make it at least to the postseason and maybe even make a postseason run. But I picked them to win the Central because of, once again, the great ghost of Bob Uecker is carrying them here. So they have been unbelievable. Have the Brewers 14 straight wins before falling to the Reds yesterday, 3-2, ending that streak. But that was an impressive showing there from Milwaukee. And my final loser of the weekend here from this past weekend, shout out to the Broncos' second string offense. My goodness, the Denver Broncos' second string offense has looked unbeatable. Just ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Really not many starters played a lot in their win against the Cardinals on Saturday. Yet the Broncos dominated Arizona 27-7. I understand that was more of a I understand that they're playing the Cardinals backups. I get that. I understand it. Still, though, to go out and have the success, particularly in the passing game that they are having, is so impressive. So impressive. Jarrett Stidham. I was going to read the numbers for Jarrett Stidham here for you, how good he has been. Jarrett Stidham, in his 2 games of playing quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Now, he started the game against Arizona. He did not in the first one. Bo Nix got the start, looked a little bad, but Jarrett Stidham looked great in his 2 starts. In his 2 games of action, I should say. A total of 8 incompletions. In over his 2 games, he has 8 incompletions and 4 touchdowns in 2 games. Those are ridiculous numbers. Just 8 incompletions over 2 games. I'll see if I can pull up once again his stats here in the preseason to get you the fact. Now, I'm not saying he's had like 8 passes or whatever. 38 attempts, 30 completions. That's almost an 80% completion percentage, 376 yards, and 4 touchdowns. The guy is having a ridiculous preseason, looking very, very good. Is Jarrett Stidham. Very, very good so far. And not to be outshone, at least on Saturday, was former Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger, who goes out and has himself a whale of a game. 14 of 16, just 2 incompletions for 162. Now, didn't have a touchdown, but didn't have a pick either. I mean, my goodness. Efficiency in the passing game from Denver has just been so impressive. And then on top of that, wide receivers Troy Franklin, the second-year guy out of Oregon, and the rookie Pat Bryant out of Illinois, they've looked good. Franklin had a couple touchdown catches against Arizona Saturday. They are just looking very good. The Broncos' second string looks really, really good. Now, once again, I understand, and I preface this going back to Jared's comments earlier. And by the way, Jared back in there saying that that Jarrett Stidham was on fire. But if you look at, if you want to say, the Broncos are 2-0. Yes, it is. But once again, it's preseason, and let's just take it for what it's worth. I mean, you're not playing the starters. Now, you can take some of it and say, well, maybe if Bo Nix goes down, maybe we're going to be okay if that happens. I know it's just the preseason a little bit here, but they have looked dominant. They have looked dominant at this point in time. So I give a lot of credit to Sean Payton, their staff. They've gotten those backups ready to roll. They're going to have to find, I think, a little bit more on the running game, personally. We'll see about that. But, man, wide receiver-wise and quarterback-wise, I think they feel pretty set about what they have there. Got to feel pretty darn good. R.J. Harvey did look decent at 3 carries, 18 yards, did have a touchdown. Did the rookie for Denver, but I don't know. Once again, it's kind of the preseason, but they have looked good. I will give them credit there. So Broncos, a winner of the weekend, particularly the second string offense. Wow. Just efficiency is really impressive. Let's get to the losers here real quickly. I've only really got one, and I talked about the Diamondbacks and their bullpen and their late game horrific losses, once again being 39 losses after leading in a game, which is a loser of the weekend stat. But another loser of the weekend would be golfer Robert McIntyre. And people are like, well, if you didn't watch golf this weekend, you would know who that is more than likely. Robert McIntyre was leading at the end of day 3 at the BMW Championship. He had a 4-shot lead, did Robert McIntyre. He blew it in 5 holes and ended up finishing in second place to Scotty Scheffler, who won again. Could be another winner of the weekend. Scotty just continues to win, racking up wins. So Scotty Scheffler comes back. He closed with a 3 under 67 to Scotty Scheffler for a 2-shot victory and became the first player since Tiger Woods. There's that name again. In 2006, 2007, to win at least 5 times on the PGA Tour in consecutive years. I've talked about it before. I've said it again. I said this guy, and I said it even early this year, late last year, I said this has a feeling of Tiger Woods dominance, and the stats are starting to back it up. Now, it's not the same on the same level as Tiger. Tiger was a whole nother level above this, but it's close. It's the most dominant golfer we've seen since Tiger Woods is Scotty Scheffler, and Robert McIntyre was feeling the pressure apparently because he had a 4-shot lead going into that, and in just 5 holes, boom. It was gone. Scotty with an unbelievable chip in on 17 from the rough that rolled, 60, 80 feet. That was an amazing chip in. All of a sudden, he has the lead and takes it back and wins the BMW Championship and continues to just have an unbelievable showing here the last couple of years to Scotty Scheffler. Just nuts. Every time you look at golf results, there's Scotty Scheffler at the top or near it. He is playing just unbelievable golf, and the other golfers around the course are starting to feel his presence, kind of like Tiger, where they would feel his presence and crumble at the pressure of what was happening. And that's what's going on. That's what happened with golfer Robert McIntyre, who blew a 4-shot lead. And I love Robert McIntyre because he's an honest man. He always speaks his mind. If you hear him on the course, picked up through, crowd mics and things like that, there's things that said that you wouldn't want your children to hear. But you know what? That's how people think in the competitive realm. And so what did Robert McIntyre have to say after blowing a 4-shot lead and finishing second to Scotty Scheffler? Well, here's that audio for you.
Yeah, I'm just really pissed off right now.
What do you see as kind of improvements you feel like you need to make?
Right now, not a clue. Right now, I want to go and smash up my golf clubs, to be honest with you.
I want to go smash up my golf clubs. Hey, that's an honest answer. You had a chance to win the BMW championship. You had a 4-shot lead, blew it. Yeah, you want to go break every club. I mean, if you want, there's other videos of Robert McIntyre throwing clubs throwing clubs into the side of a hill, slamming them into the ground. This guy struggles controlling his emotions on the course, and they bubbled over into the press conference a little bit. It's not terrible, but I understand it, man. You had a 4-shot lead. You blew it. You end up finishing in second place. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you don't get the trophy, but you do walk home with, a nice, cool $2.16 million or $2.1 million, a little over that. That's great. But at the same time, you're not going home with that trophy. And you had a 4-shot lead and you blew that. And so it's going to make you feel a little mad at the end of the day. So Robert McIntyre, loser of the weekend. But I appreciate his honesty in the comments. I really do appreciate that. Back on the FNB Bank text line at 785-899-2222. Jared chiming in, talking about a couple of things. He was hoping the Royals would gain some ground on the Yankees, get that 6th playoff spot. Says the Rockies have a better win percentage since July 18th than the Mets. The Mets have been horrific. So, I mean, good for the Rockies. Good for the Rockies. They've played better. And that's the thing about baseball. It's such a long season that you're going to go through swoons and ups. And it was only a matter of time before the Rockies started having a little bit of an uptick, no matter how bad they were. And they're starting to kind of get on that at this point in time. So, yes, Jared, I would totally agree with that. So there you go. Weekend winners and losers of this past weekend. We will talk about the Chiefs and their performance in the preseason coming up in the leftovers here in a little bit. But we're right at the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined on the phone by Kerry Jones, head volleyball coach for Colby Community College Volleyball. They're going to open up their season later on this week. We'll get thoughts on what to expect from the 2025 Lady Trojans. That is next here on the Morning Blitz.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
This is Austin Wright with the Anderson's Trade Group and your morning market update. It is August 18th, 2025. September corn, 380.5. December corn, 403. March 26 corn, 420. September KC wheat, 503 3/4. December KC wheat, 525 3/4. March 26 KC wheat, 544. November soybeans, 1038.5. January soybeans, 1057 3/4. March 26 soybeans, 1072 3/4. Dow Jones futures are currently down 2 points at 45,038. S&P 500 futures are currently down 5 points at 6,466. NASDAQ futures are currently down 29 points at 23,774. Gold is currently up $7 at 3,389. Crude oil is currently up 6 cents at $62.86. For your grain marketing needs or more information on our freedom pricing tools, you can reach the Kansas City office, Jared Loft, Tyler Ghost, Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000. In Colorado, John Hankey and John Stiles, 970-744-4484.
The
Lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure our world. Then share them with family and friends.
It's game time.
What time is it? Game time!
You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
7:33 Mountain, 8:33 Central Time on a Monday, August the 18th. Sunny and 71 here on the high plains, on our way to a high in the mid-90s to kick off this week. It's a busy week. Everyone getting back into the swing of school. Fall sports practices get going for high school student athletes. It's a busy week ahead here across the state of Kansas. But one coach that's been already in the thick of camp and getting ready for an upcoming season is our guest now. She joins us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline. That would be the head coach of the Colby Community College Lady Trojans, Carrie Jones, who joined us. Good morning, Carrie. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. Thank you so much. How's it going today?
Good. We've already been up and in the gym and lifting and ready to start school today. So.
I bet you guys are all ramped. When did practice start for you and the ladies here this year? When did everybody kind of get in and start to get kind of comfortable before camp started going?
Yeah, so we had everyone come in like the 29th, I think, or 30th. Actually, the 29th of August. So we've been here for a few weeks. We start practice on August 1st. So, we've been going for a while, it seems like, anyway.
You know, and for you guys, it's a little bit more of a process. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's more of a process to get everybody back to campus. You've got a lot of international players that come in. And can you talk about how much of a process that is over the course of a year, over the course of the summer, to get those ladies to campus, especially the ones that have to come from a long ways away?
Yeah, well, I mean, this summer it was a little bit, I wouldn't say challenging, but there were a lot of questions, like, are they going to make it? Are we going to get visas? So it was a little bit stressful at times, but, you know, a lot of these girls had committed back in like January, February, March. So we'd already done all their paperwork. We have a really great international admissions director at the college. And so for the most part, everything had already been done. And so the summer is just like everyone's still, you know, making sure everyone's lifting, everyone's doing their summer workouts, and which is challenging in itself when we have people all over the world. We have monthly team or bi-weekly probably team meetings, team Zooms. And then, we have 12 international kids. And just, I guess after a few years of doing this, we have a pretty good process in place. Fly into the airport before 4 p.m. and, we make a stop and get sheets and blankets for beds and head back here. And it's not, super complicated. So.
Well, it probably doesn't seem that way anymore. It probably was the first year, I would guess. Probably seemed a little bit probably on year number one. But being a seasoned veteran and doing this multiple times, I'm sure it's a little bit easier now. Carrie Jones is our guest, Colby Community College head volleyball coach, joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline. Before we dive too much into this season, Coach, I wondered if you could give us a little bit of what you've thought about over the last, 9 months or so, following just what was a remarkable season for your program to make it all the way to the national, I think Final Four and to have the success that you had. What was that like when you reflect back on it now, 9 months later?
I continue to think like it was an amazing experience for us and something that I had never dreamed of happening, or just always dreamed of happening, maybe like both ways. But I think like that the amount of hard work that these girls put in, or those girls put in, to be able to get there, I'm still just amazed at their, like, I don't know, like mental, how they were mentally to be able to just battle through every challenge and stick together, even though it was really hard. And that when people ask us about it, that's what I think of, is just how hard it was every day, showing up a month later, after season's over for everyone else, and still competing. And so I think that just makes it so much better. I don't know. It was just an amazing experience, but obviously that made me want, our standard to be something similar to that every year. So in the 9 months after, I've just been thinking about how we can continue to play at that level and compete at that level, with the challenges and things that we face, at Colby. So
If you don't mind, could you talk about like what were some of the things you thought about over this last year or so about, okay, what do we need to do to help raise the bar and make it this level? What were some of the things that you contemplated that you've already instilled or installed in your program to try and do that again this year?
In the spring, a big thing was just building relationships with our returners. When they come in, it's a lot of new and not, some of them, their English isn't great. They're not super comfortable. They've never had, like, I don't know, a coach that that's really like wanted that relationship. I guess it's been like a business for them in Europe, especially, or internationally. And so in the spring, like, we're really working to build those relationships so that we can have better leaders moving forward, or better, not necessarily better, but they can become leaders moving forward. But recruiting wise, we knew that we needed to be able to compete, just from like playing Florida Southwestern and playing some of those top 10 teams. We needed to get a little bit bigger in size, and a little more athletic, and we knew we needed to bring in some middles. And so, that was my number one priority, I guess, in recruiting, was finding some depth in that position. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. That as far as what we were doing in the spring to get better for this year.
Carrie Jones, our guest. I was curious, was it any easier to go out and do recruiting after making it to a Final Four? Did you have a little bit more luck?
Yeah, I think so. We work with some great agency, with some great people that are, sending us. The kids are coming because they're talking to other kids, and their experience here, not just in volleyball, but in our community, is a good experience. And so it's the last few years, it's been, we've been able to get some really talented kids. And obviously now that we're winning, they want to come and be a part of that. So we have some kids that we're training with their national team, and, that we're playing at a high level in their country. And so, yeah, of course it makes it a little bit easier to recruit, but it doesn't make it easier we still have to rebuild. We still have to build in preseason. So this preseason with 12 freshmen, it's not been, it's not been easy. It's something every day we're having to learn and explain our standard and what we expect, things like that. So
of your sophomores and stuff coming back, what are some of your older upperclassmen in this case that you're going to lean on and really look for them to be the leaders and take those roles?
We have 5 returners, and every single one of them brings something different and great to the table. Obviously, we have our 2 All-Americans back, Carlota, our outside from Estonia, and Amanda, our setter from Italy, that, contributed at a really high level. And so, just continuing to do that, but also vocally be able to, be leaders on the court as well. And then Chiara, our middle from Italy as well, she's a good vocal leader. She has a lot of great things to say, and she's working hard all the time. And I think it's great for our freshmen to see that, and have someone to kind of lean on into for those things. And then we've got our 2 American girls, Cami and Issa, who are like just, 1, incredible people, and 2, just have worked so hard in the spring and in the summer in our strength program and in spring training, and have really come a long way volleyball wise, since getting here. And so all of them are going to have a big impact as leaders, I think, for our team.
And then, of course, you mentioned you've got 12 freshmen, which means you're going to have a good majority of those play some key roles on this year's squad. And not saying that you have to name any of the freshmen, but just kind of curious on how they have adapted here through fall camp, and how ready do you feel like they are for these first matches coming up here at the end of the week?
Yeah, I mean, we do, like, we have a lot of new faces, and so you're definitely going to have to play in key roles on our team. And right now we have a lot of spots we're still, kind of trying to figure out who's going to compete, who's going to help us get back to where we need to get. And we played in a scrimmage on Friday, but we have our second scrimmage here on Wednesday, and we're still kind of hoping to figure that out. And I think one of the things that helped with having a successful season is we have just a little more depth in positions where we needed that. And so I think right now we have no idea, what that's going to look like. But the nice thing is that hopefully we'll be able to have some different options as we head through season. So
Carrie Jones is our guest, Colby Community College head volleyball coach, joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. What year is this for you, Coach? 17 years there at the helm of CCC volleyball and leading that program there. You mentioned fall camp and these spring scrimmages and these early matches. How long do you, in your recollection of those 17 years, does it kind of take to kind of get a feel for the right lineup? Does it take most of the season, half the year? You kind of get it early on. How do you when do you have that sweet spot? Hey, this is when I kind of know these are the girls that we can roll with.
I think it depends on the team and the year, and we haven't always had a lot of depth just for some different reasons, and so I would say, like, last year, for the most part, other than maybe one spot, we were kind of rolling with the same lineup the entire year, while encouraging them, like, compete, push each other. The year before that, I mean, I think we changed our lineup the week before we went to the region tournament, and the first year we went to nationals. And so, we had a brand new lineup going into to qualify for nationals and then at the national tournament. So I think it just really depends on the team.
Well, what are you hoping to see here? I know you already had a scrimmage, but what are you hoping to see here, particularly in the first few matches coming up this weekend down at New Mexico?
I think like learning how to compete together. Maybe not necessarily, like, I'd like to see us get better at volleyball, but I think learning and getting more comfortable together next to each other as a team, learning how to support each other from off the court, just kind of seeing how they struggle and how they battle. I'm really anxious to see what that looks like for us, what we're capable of. So
you were also, real quick before we let you go, you were voted by your peers in the conference to being the top team here in the Jayhawk. How does that make you feel? Do you like that? Does it feel like that's just more pressure? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's just based off of where we finished. So it's not like I told the girls, like, none of that really matters. Every coach is probably going to say that. It doesn't really matter. We still have to do something to earn that. And all it really, like, at the end of the season, if we finish in first, then that's great. And that's obviously our goal. But there is a lot of work to do before we get there. So it's nice, but we still have to earn that. So.
She, once again, is Carrie Jones, Colby Community College volleyball head coach in her 17th season there at CCC. Once again, coming off a third-place finish in the national tournament a season ago. And we'll see what 2025 has in store for the Lady Trojans. Carrie, thank you so much for taking some time with us today. We'll catch up as the season gets rolling, all right? Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. Once again, that is Carrie Jones joining us there on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Yeah, CCC Volleyball. They've got three very, very talented young ladies that are back. She said Amanda, I think it's Caputi. You got Carlotta Ketai and Chiara Inda, I think, from Italy. But yeah, they've got three very, very talented ladies that were very good last year that lead the way for them. And we'll see what it looks like here in 2025. They will begin the season coming up here this Friday. Officially, I mean, they have a game here on Wednesday against Central Christian College. for a scrimmage. But then they will have Lee College, Midland College, North Idaho College, and New Mexico Junior College all this upcoming Friday and Saturday down there at, actually, it's Midland Community College Tournament, is where they're going to be at. But they will play New Mexico Junior College. I misspoke. Midland Community College Tournament is where they'll be playing. But that's where Lady Trojans will get their feet wet on this 2025 season. We'll see what it looks like after this first weekend. Okay, let's get to a break. When we come back, we will wrap up the show with some leftovers next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Monday.
At Eklund Insurance, they understand your unique approach ensures you get the best advice tailored to your situation. They shop around for the best insurance products so you don't have to. Eklund Insurance, your trusted partner in comprehensive coverage. Stop by today to talk to one of their agents at 1628 Caldwell Avenue in Goodland.
Schlosser Concrete is hiring now. If you're dependable and ready to roll, they've got a spot for you in Goodland or Burlington. Full or part-time. Starting pay at $20 to $22 an hour. Class B CDL required. They've got steady work, a solid crew, and no fluff. Just real pay for real work. They're short-staffed and busy. So even if you're thinking about applying, call them at 785-899-6535. That's 785-899-6535. Or apply online now at slosherconcrete.com.
Craving something delicious? McDonald's has you covered. From hot, fresh breakfast to juicy burgers and crispy fries, there's something for everyone, any time of day. And don't forget to try our classic McCafe coffee or refreshing McFlurry. Visit us in Colby, Goodland, Burlington, and Lamar for fast, friendly service and the flavors you love. Drive through, dine in, or order ahead on the McDonald's app. We'll have it fresh and ready. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Summer's ending, school's here, and Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland has the trucks to keep you moving. The 2025 Sierra 3500 Pro, $1,000 purchase allowance or 3.9% for 48 months. A 3500 Denali, $2,000 purchase allowance or 3.9%. Or Sierra 1500 over a $6,000 purchase allowance or 0% APR for 36 months. Make this school year the smoothest ride yet. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, or shop online anytime at hurlchev.com.
Breaking down the plays, the players, and the passion.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
This is the Morning Blitz.
Back here on the Morning Blitz, 10 minutes till the top of the hour. We did just get a text message in from Stan this morning on the F&B Bank text line. 785-899-2222 if you want to be part of the program like Stan is. Stan wants to know, why is Colby and other junior colleges so heavy in foreign athletes? Well, Stan, I would say the biggest reason why is because they allow it now. I was not here prior, but I know back when I was in college and I was not around. The junior college team was not something I knew about really growing up in Nebraska. Junior colleges are not that big of a thing in Nebraska. So it was not really a big thing for my recollection growing up. And I know in Kansas, it's been huge for many years. But the biggest thing that I can think of is that, there were the rules where you had to have a certain percentage of Kansas athletes. And then you could only go outside the state or bring in so many percentage of foreigners back in the time, however many years it was, 20 years ago now, probably getting close to it. That was kind of the rules. And then they lifted that and said, now you're free to go out and recruit whoever you want. And in the case of, it's junior colleges everywhere that recruit more foreign athletes, because I think, I don't want to say that, the kids that are probably really talented here in the Americas are looking to go someplace bigger and better, and may not be even as talented as some on the international side. They're more talented possibly, and they are willing to go anywhere just to get into the U.S. and get away from their home country sometimes. And so any way to get into the U.S. And so they're kind of more open to coming to these junior college programs. They don't really know any better. They just think it's America. And I would say that's probably, once again, without really knowing it for a fact, I'd say that's probably the biggest reason why. You look at, just look at it for an example. They recruit a lot of internationals and then they end up going to the national tournament. And a lot of the and I think like Colby, and particularly the ones that are out in the middle of nowhere, Colby, Northwest Tech, you can throw whatever ones you want in there. They're recruiting those kids because once again, they don't know any better. Kids that grow up, they're like, well, I don't want to go to the middle of nowhere, America. I want to be somewhere here, which is why you see kind of the Northwest Floridas and things like that. I'd rather go to those places where there's more population base. Whereas these kids from they're just as talented, and they're like, you know what, we're willing to go anywhere to play volleyball in the United States. And honestly, if you visit with some of the JUCO coaches, which I find funny, they don't even, they have these kids, they come to a place sight unseen. They just like, yeah, I'll come play for you, coach. They know the coach, and that's it. They don't know where they're going. They just hop on a plane, they get picked up, they get brought to where it is, and that's it. That's the honest truth. They don't ever come for a visit. A lot of these kids, they don't even know what the facilities look like besides maybe a couple of pictures online. That's it. They have no idea. They just come sight unseen, but they're willing to go and be a part of a program to kind of to get into America. That's how, I guess I would say that's how that is done. But and when they recruit these international players, they're very talented. So all the talented Americans are kind of pooling up and going to these certain programs where the ones out here are like, we got to find, how are we going to compete? Well, I guess we're going to go get internationals that are just as talented, but that are hungry to be here. And we'll go that way. So that's the best way, I guess, I would describe it, Stan, on why that's happening. Okay, on to segment 3 here in the leftovers as we continue here on the Morning Blitz. Got about 5 minutes left to go on the program. The Chiefs, they get spanked in preseason game number 2, dropped to 0-2. I don't know if there's any Chiefs fans listening, but is there any concern about the Chiefs at this point in time? I don't have any, honestly, at this point in time. The Chiefs did not play. Patrick Mahomes didn't play. Travis Kelce didn't play a lot of their starters, didn't play a lot of their studs. So, they were just kind of out there just playing. I mean, Gardner Minshew goes 7-9 for 70 yards. Chris Oladokun 4 for 731. Bailey Zappi 3 for 4 for 9 yards. They're just kind of out there getting through the preseason. The starters, I'm guessing, will get a little bit of work in game number 3. Get a good amount of work. You're just trying to see what else you have in depth wise. And I don't know I think that'd be the only concern that I guess I would have. I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The only minor concern I would have is how much depth do you have? Your definitely star power is great, but your depth below that, how good is that for Kansas City? That's probably my biggest question and biggest concern is how good is your depth below your star players? So I am intrigued to see what that looks like here in the coming Brian chiming in, sell the team 0-2 in preseason. No, we don't go that far. Don't go that far. I do like Robert Tonyan. I liked him as the pound the Packers, the tight end for Kansas City. I think he can play a pretty big role for Kansas City this year if they wanted to. I think he's a good tight end. He was really good for Aaron Rodgers. And Sky Moore finally showed a pulse. He had a punt return for a touchdown in that loss to Seattle. But yeah, offensively, I think they scored 3 points besides an early touchdown and that punt return. They didn't get much going offensively, but my biggest concern for the Chiefs would be what do we have for depth below our starters? We know that our top-end talent, our star talent is probably the best, if some of the best in the NFL. What do we have below that that's good? We'll see. That'd be my only minor concern, being a Chiefs fan. But once again, it's the preseason. It's the preseason. They will be just fine, as Jared said. I would agree. Okay. Let's move along here on the Morning Blitz. One more stop here on the walk-off. Oh, yes. Football season is here, and that means that we have ourselves a little bit of preseason rankings for Division II football. And I thought, we should bring this up a little bit just because the Division II Top 25 was released here this past weekend, and it was interesting to see some local teams, some regional teams are out there in the top 25 of D2 football. Pitt State, the highest ranked regional team, coming in at number 10. Of course, not really regional, more Kansas City, but regional team in Pitt State. And then you've got Fort Hays coming in there at number 20. That's right. The Tigers, the 20th ranked team in the preseason top 25 for Division II football. And then just west, about 8 hours? 8 hours west of here, over in beautiful Gunnison, Colorado, on the gorgeous new facility they have out there. Western Colorado coming in at number 8, top 10 team in Division II. So the Division II football poll is out. Fort Hays at 20, Pittsburgh State at 10, Western Colorado at 8. CSU Pueblo, by the way, also in there at number 7. I forgot to mention them. They're up there. So Colorado representing very, very well.
Ferris State, by the way, in case you're curious, Ferris State, the number 1 team in the top 25 for Division II football. So interesting to see that and how that all has panned out. All right, we're near the top there. Well, yeah, we've got to get to the walk-off here.
High drive, deep left, grand slam, and back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman, jackpot, Kansas City.
So it was interesting on Saturday morning. I get an alert on my phone, and it comes across because I get all kinds of news pushed to my phone from wherever, ESPN, The Athletic, whatever will send me stuff. They love to do it. But it talked about how the Big Ten is considering an idea of a massive expansion for the college football playoffs. So here we go again. Let's talk about the CFP and how can we change it after just 1 year of 12? We don't know much. But the Big Ten is thinking, hey, you know what? Let's grow the postseason to 24 or 28 teams. So a couple weeks ago, we were mocking Eli Drinkowitz for saying going to 30 teams. But now the Big Ten says, how about a 28-team model? That would give, of course, the Big Ten and SEC 7 auto bids, while the ACC and Big 12 would each receive 5. There would be 2 auto bids for non-Power 4 conferences and 2 at-large teams. So once again, of the 28-team model, half of the field would be from the Big Ten and the SEC. Yeah. But here's the thing that I do find cool about it. So that stuff I don't totally love, but the part I do like, it would put 20 playoff games on campus. One thing I love about it. One thing I don't love about it, it would eliminate conference title games. I don't like that. That's always something to play for teams. You know, we want to go win a conference champion. We want a Big 12 title. We want to win an ACC title. We want to win a Big 10 title. That's out the door. You're no longer going to be able to do that. You can't win. That's no longer a goal. Now it's all about just making the playoffs. And even if you make the playoffs and you lose in the first round, you still made the playoffs, but whoop-de-doo. It'd be cool. I love the idea of conference title games. I still love that idea. I love the idea of more games on campus because I think it creates great environments. I love that as well. So I like some things, but I hate some other things. And once again, it's really hard to have any sort of judgment on this with only having one season of the playoff with 12 teams. This year could be better. They're going to make improvements from last year to this year. It should be better. We'll see. We're back again tomorrow on a Tuesday. Hope you join us. It's been the Blitz. Have a good one.
Classic rock plays here. This is Rocket 102.5. KKCI, Goodland, Burlington, Colby.